Hello everyone, and welcome to the Dice Commando YouTube channel. I'm Andrew, with you here as always. This is the Commando Cast, a video cast about all things Star Wars Destiny. This video and others like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. Please show your support with a like and subscribe, and be sure to hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any new videos. If you want to get involved with the channel, consider becoming a channel member. There are many benefits to channel membership, including access to our Discord, exclusive deck tech and strategy videos, and the opportunity to help create channel content. I want to sincerely thank all our channel members, as I truly couldn't do this without your support. You guys rock. Go Commando. Hello my friends, and welcome to Dice Commando and the Commando Cast. I'm Andrew with you here as always, wishing you a happy holidays and hoping that whatever you celebrate or choose not to is going in the way that you want to. Hopefully you have some time to enjoy it with friends, family, and or loved ones. And you know what? Because we're gamers, hopefully you're getting some games in, even if it's some of those silly party games. Lord knows I enjoy those as well. So this week we're looking at bubble characters in Star Wars Destiny, which I define as those characters that have been good in the past or even today are just really solid, really good on paper characters, but for whatever reason haven't found their way into the current meta. So thanks for joining me again today as we theory craft on how we can make some of our old favorites good again. Hello everyone, welcome to Dice Commando and the continuation, actually the end of Bubble Week. Today we're talking about the Harbinger of Doom himself, Mr. Doomwolf himself, Kanan Jarrus. So Kanan is really quite the character. I mean, he has quite a great ability, especially when you get a saber on him. Actually, in a lot of cases, once you get a saber on him, it's kind of, I mean, it would be even back in CM, pre-rotation, that's the way it was. And right now in this new meta, it's even stronger. The problem is he hasn't really found a great place in the new meta. So if we harken back to CM, he really, I mean, Kanan really manifested himself best in Covert Missions meta in the 3-wide decks, right? The most notable that I think I saw do the best was the Chopper Kanan Wookiee Tribe deck, nice rainbow 3-wide. But we also, and by we I mean me and Amy, I built this specifically for Amy because she loves the show. We absolutely loved Rebels. She wanted to play Spectre 1-2-3. Spectre 1-2-3 with the -1 plot plus Kanan's -1 plot. It's really, really good. So I know there's a lot out there that you look at this deck and you might say this deck doesn't work, but it really does work pretty well. It lost easy pickings in rotation, but that was about it. And this deck's still really good. The mixed damage sides don't really seem to slow it down as much. You get the ghost out there and some dirty things start happening, and you really have threats from all angles. There's no great target. You kind of have to take Kanan down, but if they run to safety, you're in trouble. So, I mean, I could talk about that deck forever. It's still a really good deck even in this meta. It actually took down my Boba Jango. That was a Boba Jango any means necessary because I don't play closing in casually, because why would you do that to a buddy? But it even takes down Boba Jango, so it's not a deck to be ignored, and I mean it's actually a deck to talk about. But you know, we've talked about it at length, so that's not really what I want to talk about here today. Instead, talking about the future of Kanan or at least in the current meta. I mean, who knows what happened in 6 weeks here, but in the current meta, before we specifically talk about a pairing with Kanan, what I want to do is talk about a deck I've been playing a lot lately, which is Yoda and Sifo Dyas. Okay, so the reason that is important is because Kanan is also a 9/12. Now, Sifo Dyas, what he does is he gets you that extra card, which is really, really, really good, because the whole point basically of the Blue Hero deck right now is to get your Neiman on and then Afterlesson into a Draw Closer and call it a day. I mean, that's the strategy, right? However, I think Kanan can bring a lot here as well. Specifically, right? I mean, if you can direct swap the two, and you lose the card advantage, but you gain a lot, especially because you remember the factors, right? So when Kanan comes in, you can force an opponent to flip a die to a side not showing what you call, and that's important because when you do the flip, right? So say it's on symbol A, and you say turn it to symbol B. If it's on, if the only side that character has, right? So, all right, say it's on a blank, and you can say turn it to a side not showing resource. They have to flip it, so they can't just like leave it on the blank. That's what I'm trying to say, right? So specifically, when I think about him with Yoda, that's really attractive because it means that you can call. You don't have to worry. You can call something else, not have to worry about them going to blank, right? So you look at Yoda specifically. He's a 1/3, 2 focus, which you love, shield, 4 shield for 1, and resource. There's only 2 sides on there that you really are unhappy with Yoda being on. I mean, in most situations. So if he's on the 1, you can call, I don't know, whatever you call not resource, and then they flip to the 1 shield. Or I mean, the better example is if it's on the 1 shield. I mean, my point is you're not calling Yoda if it's on anything other than probably the 1 melee or the 1 shield. You're probably not calling it to be flipped, and it is my point. So then you can really take advantage of that Yoda die, I think, pretty significantly. Now, the one drawback to this pairing is that the Kanan, I mean, they're clearly going to go for Kanan first just because he's easier to get off the table instead of trying to blow down Big Yoda. So the Kanan Saber thing's probably not really where you're going to be trying to do that. But I still think you need to play 2 copies of Kanan Saber just because it's such a good threat. Like if for some reason they do go for Yoda and you can get Kanan Saber out on Kanan, like that'll pretty much secure the victory. And to that end, because you're playing 2 of those, I think you actually need to play at least, well, maybe it doesn't have to be 2 copies of Anakin's, but you have to play basically 3 copies of some sort of redeploy to try and gain that value back. Because in Blue Hero, once you get the money out, or once you get the value down, you need to retain that value because you're not going to get it back. And because late game, you need all the resources for your apt lesson and draw closer play, right? So that's the drawback there of him versus Sifo-Dyas, but it definitely, I think, I think this one could work. So I'm definitely going to be putting that together this week and giving that some runs. I don't know that it will be better, but I think it offers a lot of different consistency options, or at least screwing with your opponent options, because, you know, in this meta right now, with control being what it is, forcing your opponent to flip dice, we've seen with Terran Vader is really, really good, right? So I think that there's a definite area to look into there for Kanan. So as far as other options for Kanan goes, I'm not super married to this one, but I'm throwing it out there that Kanan Enfys Nest is actually not a horrible idea, because usually people go for Enfys Nest because she's such a threat on the table, and then you kind of end up with Kanan at the end. Hopefully you can get the Saber on him by then, and maybe you have a Vibro Sword down by then, and he's doing crazy things with that. So I think that's not a horrible place to look. I don't have anything. I mean, it's just not really super sexy. It's just kind of like a mathematically all good stuff deck, right? Because you can play, I mean, basically that's it. Like the Vibro Sword and all the good stick weapons. I mean, that's pretty much it there. So that's something to look into. And then last option to look into, and I realize it's only 29 points. I realize United We Stand isn't a thing anymore. But Kanan and BD Luke comes out to 29 points. That's single die Kanan there. That's not a bad option as well. So there are a lot of places to go with Kanan. I think that people maybe are just overlooking him right now because he's not one of the new blues, and he's kind of I think historically underperformed with the rest of the Spectres. But we need to, I think, reevaluate those older characters in those older decks as things have changed, right? The decks that were largely unaffected by rotation, such as the Spectres, I think hold up pretty well in the new meta, where if it was disadvantaged before, but now it holds pretty firm, I think they're in a good position. So all those 3 wide decks we mentioned with Kanan, I think, have a pretty good, decent chance. That Yoda deck with Kanan, I think, really, really, really bears looking into. Maybe not. He's better with Sifo-Dyas, but it definitely provides a different angle of play there and more options in case you lose Yoda, because it always feels pretty bad to end the game with Sifo-Dyas, but I don't think you'd mind ending the game with Kanan. And then, the Enfys one is kind of fun and crazy to try, but you never know. So anyway, that's it for Kanan today. I've had a lot of fun doing this week. Hopefully you guys have as well. I hope that your holidays are going great again, whatever you decide to celebrate or choose not to. Hopefully it's with friends and family and loved ones, or any combination of the above. Thank you very much for being my friends, tuning in, and happy holidays, everyone. Go Commando.